Good morning, good morning. What is going on, AMP family? Welcome back to another daily analysis. Taking a look at AMP specifically, the technicals of it, right? So starting today, I think I'm going to start things a little bit different each morning, just by starting off on CoinGecko, just to get a brief overview of what AMP is doing, what its current market cap is, what the price is looking like, things like that. So as we can see, looking at CoinGecko, we are currently up 1.5%. Which is pretty healthy in my opinion. Again, AMP is not a moonshot token. This is a long-term hold with great utility, guys. Great utility. Utility is the key thing for, AMP and Flexa. As we can see, looking at today's daily holders, we actually did get about 200 to 300 new holders over the course of 24 hours. So, the awareness of AMP token and Flexa is definitely growing, right? We don't see holders decreasing, we see it increasing over time, which is really, really great in my opinion. So hopping right into our charts, right? Starting with the daily view, we can see that we actually did close above our resistance yesterday, right? I stated that we would need some sort of close above this resistance at the 0.055 level in order for us to see some sort of bullish momentum to let us know that, okay, this is a fake out, not necessarily a bearish pennant that's going to play out and, push us to the downside. So, this close right here, this was great to see, right? We closed right at the 0.055 level, right, which is pretty awesome. And we have this this bullish doji candlestick letting us know that, okay, the momentum is about to shift and we should see some bull territory going on, right? So today, July 7th, we actually do see that, we opened above our close from yesterday's close, and we did peak at the 0.057 level, right? But currently there is still some resistance going on, right? Which is why we can see, the wick at the top of this candle here, right? That's letting us know that there is some sell pressure still going on, right? But I mean, overall, it's still a good thing to see that we did break out above this resistance and we are looking to, move a little bit higher, right? But just being realistic about the situation, yes, we do have some short-term bullish momentum, but we also have to keep an eye out for our major trend line, right? The same trend line that spans across the weekly and the daily. On the daily, we have about 6 touches on this trend line. On the weekly, we have about 4 touches, right? So this trend line isn't ruled out yet unless we start a new trend. But my inclination of what may happen is that we're going to go to retest this trend line, right? And it's very possible that we may not get above it, right? It's very possible that we may pull back from it, right, and form a new higher low somewhere around here, right? But if that higher low doesn't hold, then we could always come back down, guys, right? We could always come back down to support right here. It looks like this is our new support level. Not necessarily new support level, but our strong support level at the 0.055 mark, right? So that's one case scenario that could happen. The other case scenario that can happen is that we could come back to retest this trend line, and then we could break out above it, right, which would be pretty great to see, and then we could come back to retest it to see if support will hold, right? If support holds, then I think that we will continue to trend in a slow and steady sort of way, retesting our previous all-time highs, starting with the 0.076 level and then moving up to the 12 cents level, right? So that's case scenario number 2, right? Case scenario number 3 is that if this support does not hold, then we could always break below and come back down again to the 0.055 level, which we know is our historical strong support, right? So those are 3 case scenarios that could happen in the short term as we move towards retesting our trend line, right? So that's what we have going on with the daily. So again, we have ruled out that this bearish pennant was indeed a fake out, right? It was indeed a fake out. So for everyone that was calling for this bearish pennant to play out and was speaking with so much conviction, I think that those type of folks, they really just need a little bit more education, right? Because there's always more than one side to the story, right? And by nature, looking at the charts, there's going to be more than one side to the story, right? Because there's not just buyers or there's not just sellers in the market. There's buyers and sellers, right? There's always two sides to the story, and understanding the psychology of both of those two sides, right? That allows you to make unbiased cases, right? Or unbiased judgments that keep you grounded and not necessarily speaking with conviction until you have confirmations, right? So we have our confirmation. This was indeed a bearish pennant fake out. We broke above it. But again, we need to see how this daily candle closes, right? The way that this daily candle closes will give us an additional confirmation that this was in fact a fake out. So that's what we have going on with the 4 hour. Taking a look at that's what we had going on the daily. Taking a look at the 4 hour chart, we can still see that we are moving sideways. Our market structure of accumulation has pretty much been respecting this zone for quite some time, right? We can see that, when we did break above the 0.056 level, we did pull back, right? And right now, it looks like we're looking to form maybe a new higher low on the 4 hour at the 0.0559, 0.056 level, right? And we know that this is where resistance has historically kicked in, just looking at this accumulation zone, right? So we need to move a little bit higher, right? For me to make a solid judgment or have confirmation that we do have a sign of strength, we need to move higher. We need to retest the previous high of 0.062, possibly 0.063, and we need to hold above that, right? That is the last condition that I am personally looking for in order to validate this, market structure of accumulation. And again, right, moving higher will also validate the bullish crab harmonic pattern that, we spotted way back here, right? So again, once we see those signs of strength, then we can definitely validate both cases, right? The bullish crab and this accumulation zone by applying the Wyckoff's theory of accumulation. We also see some pretty interesting volume going on here, right? Like we see a lot of decreasing sell volume and increasing buy volume, right? So this is letting us know that the bulls are definitely here. How long will that momentum last? Not necessarily sure, but just taking a look at today's 4 hour buying volume, we have 13 million right here, guys. 13 million. So I think this is the mix between retail and probably some of the big boys with that kind of buying volume. So last but not least, taking a look at the 1 hour, right? We can pretty much see the same thing happening that we saw on the 4 hour, just a little bit more in detail. And as we zoom in, we can see that there is quite a bit of buying volume, and this is great, right? This is what I like to see. So again, if we can move higher, right? If we can move higher and retest the 0.062 level, right, get above our trend line and stay above there, I think this is our sign of strength, right? So I'm personally just waiting for this last condition to be met by using the Wyckoff's theory of accumulation in order to confirm this market structure. So that's what we have going on with the 1 hour. But again, just wanted to come back to the daily to let everybody know that, again, I know that we were waiting for so long, and I kept saying we need confirmation, but it looks like we have confirmation in the short term, right? In the short term, taking a look at Bitcoin's chart, right? We see that Bitcoin is actually performing very healthy, right? We know for 6 out of the 7 conditions of Wyckoff accumulation theory that the same thing is happening on Bitcoin's chart. And again, right, I drew this yesterday, but we do have this ascending triangle market structure, right? And today's daily candle is respecting this. We actually came down, we touched it, right? And now we're looking to move a little bit higher. So, what could happen with Bitcoin could happen with, what I was predicting, right? We could continue to move sideways in this structure, forming new higher highs and new higher lows all the way until July 15th, right? Today is July 7th, and I did make the call that AMP should know exactly where it wants to go by July 7th, and that's exactly what the market is telling us right now, right? We broke out of this bearish pennant, which was a fake out, so we know where we want to go, right? I think that Bitcoin will have a clear decision on where it wants to go, or possibly a strong breakout by July 15th, right? And this is just my personal opinion. This isn't financial advice. I could be wrong, but I haven't been wrong since. And I've been very diligent in my analysis, because I think diligence and patience is key, and just understanding all case scenarios that could play out is even better, right? So that's what I try to do, just to give you all an additional perspective, as opposed to just being one track minded and thinking one way, right? So we do have some healthy movement with Bitcoin. This ascending triangle is being respected, as well as this market structure of accumulation. So we'll see how things play out with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is the benchmark for the entire crypto market. So as long as Bitcoin continues to move healthy, I think that the entire crypto market will be healthy as well, and more specifically AMP. That is what we want. But in the news, huge shout out to the Reddit community again. If you guys aren't part of the AMP subreddit, make sure that you make a Reddit account and you join us, right? We are a great community. We share information on the daily, and we help out other people, especially folks who are new to crypto, and a few Reddit members that are pretty new. They didn't have the credentials to post yet, because they're so new, but I just wanted to share this article really quick on marketrealist.com. They were talking about ANT and where will ANT be in 2023, and they make some some pretty interesting analysis here, right? Right here, the first one, it says that AMP has been climbing by an average of 130% per month in 2021 alone, per month, right? So we are in month 7, we are in July, and AMP has been going off. AMP has been increasing steadily and gradually and very healthy, right? Again, this is not a moonshot token. This is a token with great fundamentals, and a token with great utility that spans across all markets, all industries, and all businesses. Anybody can use AMP. So the adoption of this collateral token will be massive, right? But I think that this was pretty interesting, right? Just analyzing it from the monthly percentage gain perspective. 130% per month in 2021 alone. And if this momentum continues, then we will finish the year at $3.53. Pretty interesting in my opinion. Again, I still think that this price right here is completely undervalued for where AMP will go in the long term. But they do, forecast all the way until 2023, and say that, as AMP continues to gain adoption, not only in the traditional finance world, but also in the DeFi world. And if we continue this monthly percentage gain of 130%, then, by the year 2030, the value of AMP could be worth $230, which is, spot on to something that I saw on Twitter, where they benchmarked the value of AMP to, where Visa's current where Visa's current market cap is, right? And I think it was around the $230 sort of range. But, still, in my opinion, this is still undervalued. Why? Because AMP spans across all industries, all businesses, and traditional finance as well as DeFi, right? As we see, AMP is being used as collateral on Ruler. Ruler is a DeFi platform for lending and borrowing, right? So I will drop this link to this article inside of the video for you all to take a look at. But I thought this was a pretty interesting analysis. Very spot on from the month over month percentage gain perspective, but in the long term, I still think the 2030 price prediction is pretty undervalued. So that's what we have going on for AMP and Bitcoin today, guys. Again, I will say this, and I hope that you all are learning why most investors fail, because they lack patience, right? Especially investors who sold around this range and were calling for AMP to break down all the way to the 2 cents level. No, you can't call things like that until you have confirmations, right? And that's exactly why patience is key. Patience is key. The market will it will do things to get a reaction out of you, right? Everything that we see on the market is based off of human psychology, and that's one of the reasons why I say that don't make crypto your entire life. Enjoy the things that life has to offer outside of technology, right? Family, friends, nature, whatever it is, and then just come back and adjust and reassess. Once you come back, right? Once you have your zen, once you're at peace, you have peace of mind, you will see different things on a chart. Why? Because your mind is at ease. Your emotions aren't, as rattled as it once was, right? So you're able to make a sound judgment as opposed to making a confirmed assumption, right? We don't want to make confirmed assumptions. We want to make confirmations based off of what the data is showing us, right? So that's what we have for today, today's daily analysis. If you all like this content, please subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Drop some comments. And until tomorrow, y'all, peace out.